if you see your stories on Instagram, you wake up and you're like, let's do it.
Wow, isn't it a beautiful day? But it takes a moment to get there mentally. And I think it's the thinking that you have to overcome and the gratitude that has to come forth. It's counting down now. Here we are.
All right, guys. Hello and welcome to podcast Yoga with Alina, the coffee break. And super excited to have you for episode 3, which is going to be all about energy, which we have a lot of here right now.
Ooh.
My amazing guest today. Her name is Chavonne. I'm going to give it right to you so that you can kind of introduce yourself, and then I'll talk more about what the episode is going to be about, okay?
I love that.
Okay.
I'm so excited.
Go do your thing.
Hi, Alina. Oh my gosh, it's so fun to be here, and thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
I was so excited when you approached me and you said, first of all, I'm starting a podcast, and I was like, I want to be involved, but then you just automatically asked me to come. So I'm excited to be here. So like you said, my name is Chavonne. What do we want to know? I met Alina through Equinox in our jobs of fitness and teaching, and
I'll make it easier. She's my boss.
And I'm her boss. I was going to be humble about it and not really jump that out there. Yeah. But I also am her boss. So maybe she's inviting me on for extra points or something. I don't know. But she also won extra points when she showed up with her boss podcast and wine because she knew. Cheers,
yes.
Cheers. Some of her guests she brings on and you have coffee. I was like, well, if you're bringing me on a podcast, we're definitely pouring wine because that's afternoon coffee.
Yes.
So not only am I your boss, I'm your friend, and I work in fitness, and I do so much more than just work in fitness. Every day is an adventure, and I can't make up my life on a regular basis. I love what I do. I love most everything of what I do. I love most all the people of that I work with. But as far as my day-to-day life, I work for Equinox. I run a group fitness department. I get to work with amazing Alina and some incredible colleagues that we share together, motivating, inspiring, teaching, energizing, lifting others' spirits, helping them live better lives, functional, fitness, food, wine, balance. Where does it end? Sometimes I feel
it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
Basically what happens, the reason why I asked Chavonne to be a part of this particular episode, because anyone who has ever met her, literally the only question is like, what is she on? Because that
what am I not on?
I have no idea. That energy and how this woman is running around doing so many. No, seriously, she does so much, and I just don't even know how she does it. So
I don't either.
When right now, I think that I have quite a lot of stuff happening. I have a lot of things on my plate, and people are asking, hey, how do you manage it all? How do you have the energy to do everything? And I'm just like, when I start thinking about it, I just look over to Chavonne and I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing anything really. It's just not.
You're ridiculous.
Because how many classes
You're being humble.
Okay, how many classes a week do you teach?
So I technically am scheduled to teach 9 a week. That's already kind of one more than I should be teaching weekly as a manager. But it's kind of demanded and asked of me to step up a little bit more. And then I don't know if I should admit this out loud, but I end up maybe subbing or covering, emergencies and situations pretty frequently, and then end up evaluating and reviewing and taking my other instructors' classes.
How many classes
total.
Do you have to take a certain amount of classes a week?
So there's a certain amount. So that's kind of subjective and personal based on my schedule. So maybe in one given week, I could get into 2 to 3 instructors' classes, but I may have another week that's filled with trainings and meetings and I don't get into an instructor's class. Selfishly, I take your classes. I'm not really evaluating you. There are a few instructors and teachers that teach things that I want to selfishly take, like bar and yoga, because I need a little lower impact and a little less of what I teach, which is a little more intense sometimes. So on a weekly basis, I'm in an average of no less than 13 to 15 classes.
That is
teaching 9 to 11.
okay.
But I love it.
So
but it's a lot.
Let's round it. I don't think that you teach less than 15 classes a week, honestly. I really don't think so. So, okay, let's round it to 15 classes a week. So it's 15 hours of actual physical freaking fitness.
Yeah.
And by the way, guys, this is not yoga that we're talking about. Like, she does HIIT and stuff like that. Okay.
Lots of strength training.
On top of that,
cycle.
What are like your managing duties?
Oof. Yeah. So that's a full-time job in and of itself. And then the teaching's a full-time job in and of itself. And then all the fixing of my body and recovering and repairing and balancing, that's a full-time job in and of itself.
You're a dog mom as well,
and
which is also a full-time job, by the way.
Yeah.
As a dog mom, I would know.
It fully is. And if anyone out there is disagreeing with that, well, I'm sorry. You can agree to disagree.
By the way, you
and
don't
go.
have to be super close to that.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, you can.
I
You
can
can
be
relax.
comfortable.
You can. Be
I'm so. You know what? I'm so used to being in the microphone this close to my face when I teach because it's attached to my head. So that's why I'm treating it like a typical.
Yeah, no, you can
also,
just relax.
once you're in theater and stage, like I did over. Yeah, if ever you're with the mic, it's always there. So. Then I'll lay down if you'll let me.
You really can. You really can.
This is so perfect.
So, okay.
Yeah, lots of classes a week, lots of full-time. Administrative is demanding. As a manager, I'm overseeing my club.
Yeah.
I'm making sure that the group fitness department is operating at its peak performance. I'm checking in with my instructors, not just on a business level to make sure that your classes are going well, but how are you doing on a personal level?
People there as well. Like, you know every single person's name.
Really
I don't know people in my... Unless a person attended at least 10 of my classes, I don't know their name.
It's okay.
I'm sorry. That's just how it goes. So, guys, if you want me to know your name, please attend my classes
minimum of 10 times.
10 times.
Minimum. And you should be in her classes weekly.
Yes. Well, if you're in Miami, please.
Please.
Well, if you're not, I have online stuff as well.
You have so much stuff going on.
So much stuff.
So much.
So... yeah, you know, also everyone personally, like the people who are members in the club as well. That has been beyond my understanding for sure. And, but there's another layer to the whole thing. You also have a pretty big following on social media. And you're also... there are days, there are weeks actually, there were months when I wouldn't post a single thing. But you always have your stories, you always have your posts. And I know it's you.
Try.
She doesn't have managers for that, like, for sure.
Not right now, I don't.
Yes. So it's all you. And I think that it's another full-time job.
It is. And I really appreciate that you're in the industry and you can acknowledge the demand that requires. I feel, and this is the crazy type A perfectionist Chavonne that I am, I feel like all of these jobs are balls that I'm juggling in the air and I want to give all of them 100%. And it's a lot to juggle between the Equinox demand, the administrative, the management, the teaching. My IG, I feel like I'm slacking and failing on it all the time. I'm not doing the reels and the content creation. And I'm like, I scroll through these things. I'm like,
I don't think it's physically possible for you to do those
It's not.
things.
Like, I'm posting to the best of my ability without having, and it depends on if we get into it or not, but I do have a partner that I'm working on with my own LLC platform that will be taking over a little more of that social media.
So she has her own LLC platform. Okay.
That's just kind of in the back pocket that
We've
nobody really knows
established that one. Okay.
and nobody really
All
knows
right.
about yet. So I'm working on that. But to your point with the IG, I like to keep the stories up daily because I think people really appreciate connection.
Of course.
And I think sometimes these reels and these posts, nothing wrong with them, not putting them down, but I think sometimes it can really look unachievable, unreachable, and unrelatable.
For sure.
And I think when people can see a story with a normal human being that's just having a great time with her dog and really honest about how rough it was getting up the stairs after a really effing hard workout and then wanting to drink so much more wine, like I think people just love relatable and real. And so while I want to do more and look more up leveled with my IG, you know, these things are fleeting. Like even the platforms, IG isn't going to hold its power for too much. You know, things are constantly evolving and changing, but what isn't is connection. And I think people really like having connection.
Yes. I mean, it is a great source of connect. Like it's a great thing that connects us to people, but with time there's going to be something else, and the connections is the only thing that's going to really stay.
Right.
That's for sure. So
Yeah.
creating that connection is definitely like I guess the goal, the idea of the whole thing.
Yeah. Well, you want people to really feel like they're not only seen,
Yeah,
but have value
for
and
sure.
worth. Because I think so much, you know, our world is conditioned now with these devices, and it's constantly just swiping and looking and
I was
watching
just
other
teaching
lives.
a class. I
So
had I was teaching at Equinox actually. I was teaching yin.
Yes.
There was a member in the class. It was a huge class. She was scrolling through her Instagram
During the class.
during yin style practice.
Yeah. Oof.
I thought about how I'm gonna put it nicely, like
To approach.
somehow. And then in the end, when I'm saying like my closing words, I said, "Thank you so much for disconnecting from the outside world. For this time, I know it's not easy."
That was well said.
That
was proper.
I was like, okay, is it going to be very passive aggressive? Is she going to understand it? I hope it reached her.
I hope so too.
Because I thought it was the nicest way that I could come up with to actually address that without
directly
completely, punching like her.
Yeah. Or walking over to her like I probably would have had no problem doing and just saying,
Yeah.
do you want to maybe take the phone out of the room so you could handle whatever you need to? But there's a time and a place sometimes.
Yeah.
And we want our people to feel like
I thought about it. And then
no,
I'm
you
like,
handled it beautifully. I'm saying
Thank
I may
you.
not have handled it so.
I thought about it for a long time. It took me
Proud of you.
15 minutes
You
of
did.
a class to come up with it.
And I'm sure you were stewing a little bit. The moral of the story is that we don't want you on your phones when you're in the middle of our class.
Oh, yes, please.
Because there's a time and a place. And I get if somebody's pregnant and having a baby. Or if there was like the baby is being delivered any moment. Have your phone on you.
Oh my God. Next time you do this, please make sure that I didn't just sip. By the way, guys, if you're watching us, you already figured it out that we're not drinking coffee today. We're actually drinking wine. The story here is that Chavonne and I, we've been trying to get together for wine for...
Since as long as we've known each other?
Yes, probably.
We've had a couple group things.
Yeah, we want it since December for sure. Since December.
Since December.
It's August.
It's almost been so 9 months as long
out.
as it takes to make a baby. We've talked about getting together for lunch, dinner, coffee, not coffee, but wine. Anything.
So as I mentioned in the previous episode, I'm using this podcast and I'm using this platform just to get together with people who I haven't seen in a long time.
This is actually really intelligent and business savvy.
Because this is how they will come here. And
you bribed them. You're like,
actually...
she did. She was like, all right, boss Chavonne, what if I bring wine? Will you come talk on my podcast? Whatever. I didn't need this to come do anything with you. But I will say, cheers to that. I think she's established a very creative way of building relationships, getting to know people and luring them in. But also it benefits so many things. Like you're sharing your platform and asking questions and getting people to open up. And so what if it's coffee one day and wine the next day?
I don't remember who was actually, that's not... I didn't come up with it on my own, but I read, and I cannot remember the name of this person who was doing this, but it was a book about like business development or whatever. And this guy, he said that when he was just starting out, whenever he would find a person who he wanted his advice or something, like he wanted something from the person, he would reach out and invite for coffee. And if they were, most of the time it was like busy people, so they didn't really have time for coffee. So what he would do, he would Venmo them money for coffee. And in exchange, they would have like a 10-minute conversation on the phone or something like this.
That's brilliant.
And I thought that it was absolutely, because that's like you acknowledging the person's time.
Of course.
And the effort to meet with you. And it's like, it's just, I don't know, it's awesome.
I think it's really cool.
So,
I love what you're doing. That is a brilliant idea.
Thank you.
You didn't have to Venmo me, but you brought me a bottle of wine. So here I am. We'll go as long as you want to talk.
Thank you.
Or until the wine runs out, whichever
happens first. Yeah. So, okay, let's actually dive into the episode itself. How in God's name are we doing all this?
God for sure.
Okay,
that's a huge part.
I'm
going to be straightforward. My faith is huge. It's been a huge part of why I'm still not dead. Why? Let's be real. There's a lot of reasons why I should have died by now. There's so many. And if it wasn't me just working myself into the ground. So let's just take it all the way back to birth, I guess, since that's a theme right now.
Okay, let's do it.
My mom and dad said that they knew my name before they were even pregnant with me, as crazy as that is. My parents are awesome. They're still married, but they believed that God showed them that they were going to have a girl 6 months before they had me, and they got pregnant with me.
Wow.
And that my name was going to be Chavonne Tiffany. And Chavonne means life-giving, and Tiffany means appearance of God.
I didn't know that.
Right.
Wow, that
So
is amazing.
My parents named me and knew that I was coming 6 months before I was conceived. Who knows?
Wow.
Crazy, right?
I do believe in that.
I believe that too. I have a very strong connection to God. I was raised by incredible parents. Of course, we all have our issues and stuff, right? But my mom and dad brought me up in a wonderful, loving home. And they told me from the time I came out with bells, whistles, and energy. The only way to keep me from crying was to keep me in motion, which is like, so sitting still is like the hardest thing I ever do. Yin yoga is the hardest thing I ever do in my life. You mean you want me to stay still?
You don't come to yin yoga often. I noticed.
I need it. I
Thing.
need it so much more.
She changed one of my classes from a flow class to a yin yoga class, and for the flow, she would come every week. So I know that she kind of has that. Not every.
She's
but
right,
still.
but like also my schedule kind of changed a little bit, and Tuesdays got a lot harder. There is a reason behind that, but. To your point, I should be doing way more yin. I will get back. I will make it happen.
Please.
So keeping me quiet was keeping me in motion. So long story short, my parents used to put me in a swing when they would eat, and the swing would keep going and going and going. And as soon as it would slow down, within a second, I would start going. They'd have to wind it up, and I'd start swinging again, and the crying would stop. So I'm assuming that from prior to being born, I was already coming into this world with a lot of energy. And I've just always been an active person. But I think, I wake up day after day. I don't want to admit this out loud, but I'm older now than I was when I started in this business. Like by 18 years older when I started in this business. And, some weeks are easier than others. And some days I wake up, like this morning, and I was like, how am I going to do this again? How am I going to make my body move again? Who's motivating me? Who's energizing me? Like I have to get up and put on the face. And it starts with prayer. It starts with meditation. For me, it's connecting directly to God. Okay. Like I take my dog on a walk in the morning. My first routine is to wake up and stare at my ceiling and be like, do I have to be an adult again? And then I'm like, slap, slap. You got this. God's got you. Every single day we pull through. Every single day there's a blessing, even when there's a struggle. Every single day is a blessing. So I think, cheesy cliche as it is, I've really made an effort to verbally say out loud things that I'm grateful for the moment I wake up. Because I wake up and immediately feel my screwed up hip, my tight back, my shoulder, my everything that's out, everything that hurts, everything that's tired. I look around and I see all the things I need to do, running a life.
It's overwhelming.
I'm proud to say it right now. I'm single. I do want to have a relationship that is a lasting one in my future, but I'm living my best life according to how I want to attract that person for my life. But doing everything alone is a lot.
Yes.
It's a lot.
Yes.
It's a fucking lot. So there's some days that I feel extremely overwhelmed between the workload being all consuming, my own personal life consuming, cleaning the house, getting groceries, taking care of my dog, taking care of my health,
those little
family,
things,
friends.
Honestly, even doing emails, I'm sorry, but even writing out emails, it's such an easy thing. But when you have so many things that is overwhelmed, it's just, oh my God.
So it's really easy. Yes.
And I don't have as many emails as you have.
Oh God, I hate emails.
I know.
But I think what happens is you just have to keep, my faith is huge. And I really think that that's my saving grace and why I haven't given up, because God gives me a strength that I couldn't get on my own. And I think that you have to acknowledge that and be humble enough to admit that and connect to that.
So basically finding your motivation.
Yes.
That's the first thing.
That's the first thing.
What are you?
And opening up the day. And trust me, I don't wake up and open my mouth and sing and Cinderella and birds chirp. And I'm like, oh, what a glorious day. No, it's more like, oh my God, I have to do
if you see your stories on Instagram, you wake up and you're like, let's do it.
Wow, isn't it a beautiful day? But it takes a moment to get there mentally. And I think it's the thinking that you have to overcome and the gratitude that has to come forth, because there's a lot of things that we could be upset about. There's a lot of stress. We're surrounded by stress.
Lot of stress.
Finances are stressful. Traffic's stressful. The world and the state of the nation, all of it's stressful. But if you can take a moment, no matter how crazy my day's about to be, sometimes I only get 3 minutes, but I take those 3 minutes outside. A huge thing for me is connecting with nature and the water.
Okay.
When the fact that I live on the canal, on the beach,
we're very blessed to live in Miami.
We're very
Honestly,
blessed.
That's just
there are a lot of people that are in buildings and maybe never see water, but I think that you can find other spaces and places that you can create, that you can find a place to regenerate, to meditate, to stretch, to pray, to, just maybe be in silence. So for me, it's getting centered first thing in the morning.
Yeah. Honestly, for me, it's going to sound really weird and funny. Technically, I'm a yoga teacher. I'm supposed to be the one who's like all about nature and stuff like that. But that doesn't recharge me.
And it doesn't connect with you, does
Not
it?
really.
Yeah, that's okay.
But
nature, no.
Said,
I just like the water.
I think that it's very important to just find something that really fills you up. So for me, like it's actually really funny. I go to this one coffee shop, particular right next to Brickell Heights.
Yes. Yeah.
And I need
What
to
is it though? Which one?
No, it's Rosetta.
Rosetta.
Yeah,
I know it well.
Rosetta.
I love it. Yeah.
In that particular location. Others don't do the
they
trick.
They don't have the same.
Just that one.
It's a vibe for you.
I need to have coffee there, and I need to have my parfait. That's it. That's my breakfast, and I need to sit in a certain particular chair over there. I'm not joking.
What happens if that chair is not available? Does it ruin your day?
It is. I go there at 7:30 in the morning. It is available.
It's Alina's chair.
Yes, it's Alina. They know. They know. I walk in. They are already ready.
They're ready for you?
Yeah, they're ready. They're ready with my order. They know where I'm sitting. They bring me they don't bring you coffee, but they bring me,
it for you.
Yeah.
Wait, so is this a weekly or a daily thing?
It's not a daily thing, but it's almost a daily thing.
But this is a spot for you.
But that's something that recharges me. Like if I know that I need to recharge, if I'm feeling down, if I wake up and I'm like, I need something, I need the strength, this is where I'm gonna go.
And it's the place that just,
that's the place.
Why do you think that is?
I have no idea.
Does it have just an energy to it that you just feel calm or rejuvenated?
And it's just like it's being outside of my house, I love like restaurant, coffee shop setting this podcast is called The Coffee Break, so I guess you can get that.
Yeah, this must be your thing.
And that's my thing. That's really my thing. It's recharge. Like if I need to recharge, that's what's going to do it.
That's great that you recognize that though. And so now you have like, I think that's a matter of, you figure out where you live and what your lifestyle is like. And then
you find like you're looking, that's what I think the reason why I started saying all this is because, it's important just to find something that's going to recharge you, something that you just know you can turn to when you wake up and you're like, shit, today's going to suck.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just so, so, so important to have that. And that's another reason why I really like waking up early, just much earlier than I need to do anything so that I have time to figure that out.
Yes.
Because if I wake up and I have to just, just be there present and I'm not feeling it, it's going to be horrible.
Right. And then that's going to translate into how you talk to people.
It will.
That makes me think.
And we always talk to, that's our job.
That's our job.
To people.
And so whether we like it or not, we did choose this. And so whether we like that people talk to us or not, or sometimes can drain or deplete or suck the energy out of us, the reality is
I love people.
Yeah. And I say this I see both things all the time. I love people and I hate people. I say that with love. I hate people with love. But it's a moment of just sometimes it's too much. And sometimes you and your body and your spirit and your soul and your energy just needs a minute. So I think when we are the people that we are in the business of people, you have to regenerate in a certain way. I think depending upon your profession and the type of lifestyle that you live, somebody that lives behind a desk at a computer and interacts with no humans probably needs social activity for balance.
For sure.
I don't know about anyone else, but I am the most introverted extrovert out there. I can dance, perform. I'm not really a dancing instructor, but I can dance, perform, sing, be on, teach in front of the crowd all day long. I'm exposed to no less than 50 to 100 human beings per day in my club. Just physical interaction, not to mention the followers, the DMs, the interactions, the questions, the interests, the
emails,
oh my God,
emails,
the admin stuff. And sometimes it's like I go home. People think that I get invited to stuff all the time, and I'm like, it sounds great, sure. And then the day of, I'm thinking to myself, we've done this to each other so many times. We've been like, yeah, we're gonna go. It's in 2 weeks. Sounds great, amazing. The day of, Alina and I were like, how are you feeling about this? How are you feeling about this? I don't know. I'm thinking about the wine.
Like, if I
need to go home and be alone.
If I need an excuse to just ditch something and I cannot come up with one, I just text Chavonne and I'm like,
and I'll get you out of it.
Yeah, we've done it. I mean, we've done it so many times. That's partly why we never got together.
We keep bailing on each other.
Yes.
But it's true because after so much energetic demand, I sometimes drive home in silence, pure silence, because literally my life is I'm on a beat.
Yeah.
Everything I do in my life is on a playlist, on a beat, on a grind. So I'll drive home in silence. I will sometimes sit in my house for a straight hour, laying on my tile floor, staring at the ceiling, holding a glass of wine, and Henry, my 12-pound dog, right next to me. And literally, I can't do anything. And people are like, let's go out. I'm like, with humans and interact and talk and move? No. Maybe in 3 months I'll think about it.
Yeah.
That's why we bail on each other. But here we are.
Do you ever have to plan out do you ever plan out your day?
Of course. I have to plan out my day.
Do you plan it, do you do this the night before or do you do this in the morning? How does that work?
My schedule of teaching is set. So I always know Monday I teach 3 classes, Tuesday, 2, Wednesday, 2. And then I know each week if I'm subbing or covering a situation. As far as my day goes, I have to keep up with evaluations, trainings, meetings. So in a given week, I'll know this is the week that I'm dealing with this program for the club. I'm going to be meeting with these new hires. I'm going to be meeting with these current employees. So every week is a lot of the same stuff repeated over and over. And then every week has something a little bit different. I would like to say that I'd plan my meals and I'm food prep and I am scheduled and my outfit's laid out the night before. Nope, none of that. No. Every week I'm like, maybe this is the week I'll buy groceries and make food.
No,
and then I'm at the club and I'm like, well, I'm going to be buying breakfast out today and lunch out today. And then I go home and I'm like, what am I eating for dinner? And that's like, so I'd love to say I'm planning this weekend. I'm going to go get groceries. So I plan. But
do you have a day planner or no?
Yeah.
Yes.
So in that planner, I know each week what my set non-negotiables are.
Okay. And then
but within
the rest
that week,
is
it's kind of like my Friday is my day off, but yesterday was my day off from Equinox. I had 2 virtual Zoom meetings. I met with my business partner about my LLC. I trained a client that I see privately. I ran errands. I cleaned my house.
That's usually my day off, yeah.
It was not a day off. And then at 4 p.m., I'm making a playlist for today's classes and I'm thinking about work again. So, that's a day.
Yeah. Because for me, I'm the biggest planner ever. And I love planning, but classes, that's a non-negotiable. It's just there.
It's just there.
I don't even have to plan for that. That's the easiest planning ever, right? Because I don't do it, you do.
Yeah, I just say you're teaching and don't miss your class.
Yeah.
And then you offer to sub a lot more and then you add that. Yes. But planning, do you have a day planner that you live by?
I do. I used to have a day planner. Now I just do everything in my phone, in the notes. And that one I've been trying over the last 2 months because obviously the workload has been much more. I've been trying different stuff. And it went from doing every single evening for the next day to just writing out what I need to do within the week. Because there are things
That's so much better.
There are things I have to, right? I have to post for Instagram. Okay, I said and we choose it for ourselves, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it 4 times this week. But then if I plan the night before, I'm like, okay, tomorrow I'm going to do this reel. And then I wake up and I'm just completely uninspired. I'm like,
I get that.
I just can't.
I go through the same stuff.
And I need people
to get on you to make
my videographers were away for a week and a half. I'm so uninspired. I need these people in my life. Guys, if you have not watched the first episode, watch. These people are amazing. They're so inspiring.
So
they inspire my my Instagram is done by I do all the video editing.
Yeah. And putting your reels together.
Yeah, putting the reels together.
Which is time consuming beyond, which is why I don't do that many.
I love it now. By the way, if you have any videos and you want to send them to me, I'll do reels for you. I'm not joking. I love it right now.
Well, you're killing it on there.
I love it.
And I watch and I'm like, oh my God, I have such reel envy. I'm like, I save audios. I'm like, I'll get to it later. I have all these audios saved and I have no reels made.
No, seriously, I love making it right now. I
Don't
I took
threaten me.
3 different courses, no joke, over the last 2.5 months
On reel making?
on reel making.
I need that information. Maybe you should
Okay.
send that stuff to me.
I'll send it
I
to
will
you.
send you things to put together, but you also have
Some
a
of them,
lot.
no, one of them is in English. 2 of them were in Russian.
Russian?
But the English one, I'll send it to you.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
But good for you because you are doing a lot more than you realize. I'm not going to make you my real slut because you're trying to build your own stuff. Why am I going to dominate you with my own?
I did for some of my friends.
But that's a great, okay,
seriously.
perfect. But like you said, you wake up unmotivated. Yesterday, I was fully planning. I'm like, Chavonne, you haven't done a post. You need to do a reel. It's Friday. Timing is so key now. And also, I can't keep up with the algorithms. Sometimes I have 1,000 views on something. Sometimes I have
that's just unpredictable.
700 people looking at me. Then other times there's 300. Then other times there's
At this point, I don't even care
2,400.
anymore.
I don't care. I just keep doing whatever I'm going to do.
At this point, I don't even care anymore about the numbers. I just do.
You just, what I found consistency.
I like what I see right now. What motivates me right now for Instagram is that I like how my feed looks.
Yeah.
That actually motivates me. Once you start doing something and you like what you do, it just keeps
motivates you to do more.
Yeah, motivates you to do more.
Yeah.
And I used to. It was not always like this for me before. If I look at something and I like it, I would be scared to mess it up. I was like this, yes.
Yeah.
And it changed for me over the last year, I think, because when I like something, I want to keep doing it. I don't want to just freeze it and just put it on hold. It's the same. I feel like it just, maybe I just grew up. I don't know. Because it was the same with like new clothes. You buy new clothes and you're like, that's it. I'm just going to look at it. It's just
I do that with my new workout clothes all the time. I literally will have something that's new that I look at for a couple weeks.
No.
See, and then I'm like, today's the day I'm going to debut you. Like, I just had this romper that was given to me about a month ago. And I wore it this past Wednesday. It was this solid one-piece romper with this really good, and so I looked at it in my house. I was like, not red, too soon. You wait right there. And then I was like, this is the Wednesday to debut. And then it makes no sense. It makes me happy, I guess.
Wow.
But that's the only thing that I will get and wait to use.
No, that used to be for everything for me. And now I'm like, it motivates me. When I like something, it just motivates me.
So now when you see your reels and your page looks incredible.
Thank you.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. And I just want to keep it, I want to keep going. I want to keep doing that. But also, there are definitely days when I'm like, whatever.
Totally. So I tried to do this reel yesterday and I almost posted it 3 times. So like, not the time. So I saved it again. Then I went back and edited it. I was like, I don't feel it. So it's just sitting there. So maybe I'll post it today. We have to stay accountable now. Try to make our posts
let's do it.
Follow through on them.
Let's do it.
Right.
Yes. No, so basically daily planning right now with everything that I do doesn't really work. The only thing that daily planning works for me is if I need to sending out emails. No joke. That was on my to-do list.
Confirming my boss I am covering. Yes. Period.
Like texting someone, that's my to-do list. I'm not joking.
Same.
That's my to-do list.
With this whole planner, I'm actually like weird. I have a day planner and I like to take notes in my phone. I literally have a running ledger, like literally a note that says daily to-dos.
Same.
And under there, and I just bullets. Yeah. And I'm like, every day I'm like, oh my God. What are all the things I'm doing because I haven't crossed off any of these things? I do the same thing. And then if I do something that I didn't have on the list, I will add it to the list.
Yes. I do the same thing.
Because we're ridiculous.
I do the same thing.
I wonder how much time we're wasting.
It's depressing to see nothing done.
But yet I go,
do things.
I've been doing things all day long. I've not just been laying on my ass doing nothing. But then I look
part of actually being, I feel like it's a huge part. And it's like a huge discussion, being nice to yourself.
Yeah.
Like being nice to yourself.
Patient and gracious and realizing.
Because I used to be very, and it's just, I'm talking about very recently that it has changed for me. I was very, very hard on myself. And for example, right now I'll explain this, what I mean by this. Right now there are days when in the last month I've been teaching a lot. We talked about it.
So much.
And there would be days when I teach like 6 classes. And those days, I also have, keep in mind, like I have to do an online stuff, right? It's not that you just have to shoot yoga class somewhere. Right? You have to plan for it. You have to coordinate everything. You have to pay for space and you have to pay for everything, by the way. Just saying. And paying those invoices takes time. I'm not even complaining about the money. I'm not complaining at all. But
it's time consuming. Yes.
So you have to do this. And then after everything is done, you have to communicate with the editor. You have to, I'm running the show.
You're running the show.
And I know, ask anyone who's working with me, I know all the settings. I know how the lighting stands. Like, I know the settings on the freaking camera. I know everything.
That's so great.
I know how many steps from the wall my mat is supposed to be. I'm not joking. That's like, so controlling all that. And then after you're talking to the editor, all that, you have to rewatch everything just to make sure everything is correct. Which, by the way, when I first released my platform, there was some things that people were texting me about, and like not texting, DMing, saying like, hey, check this class for this and this. By the way, guys, I love you. I love you, because that's true. Like, there were some things that were messed up and we had to redo that.
They were trying to help you fix.
Yes, we had to fix a lot of videos.
There's so many details.
We had to fix a lot, and because we came out with 16 classes. The first month we came out with 16 separate classes, and it's a lot. So after that, you write the description, you write the SEO. I do not have anyone who is doing that for me. Like, all the back end, I'm the one who is doing the whole thing.
So much content.
And then you talk to graphic designer, you communicate all that. It's usually back and forth. So all that, it's just, by the way, right now, just listing all these things, I forgot how we started this whole
I know. Well, we were talking about planning and a day planner. And how do we go? How do we schedule our weeks? How do we schedule our day? How do we keep the energy up? How do you keep it up besides the coffee shop
That's
moments?
The coffee thing. Yeah.
Do you have anything else that's a personal best practice? Reversing the roles on you to be energized.
I think the more you do, the more energy you have, and the more time in the day you have.
Yeah.
Getting out there and starting, that's the hard part.
For sure.
And also another thing for me, I need people around me who motivate me. And oh my God, so many things. I have a lot of things to say, apparently.
Say it. I'm here for it.
No, another thing, I'm the type of person, I need someone to, okay, hold that thought, Alina. I remembered why I started saying all this, that I am being nice to myself.
Yes.
That's it. And the reason why I remembered it, because I was about to say that when people are, I'm motivated by people saying that I'm doing a good job. So the more people
Verbal
are saying,
affirmation.
Yes.
Is that one of your love languages?
Yes. Because some people are doing better when they're being like, I don't know, punished or whatever, yelled at. No, not me.
You need positive reinforcement.
I need
And so when people are telling you you're doing an amazing job, like when I tell you, oh my God, I love you and I love your class, your platform looks so good.
I can
you
keep
eat
on
it
going.
up, you eat it up and you're like, yes. Blah, 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 blah,
yeah, whatever. Like, if it's true or not, like I'm just going to keep going. That's it. That's what I need.
Go ahead.
And, back to being nice to yourself and kind to yourself. Because before, I would teach all those 6 classes and I would be like, okay, Alina, but you didn't do anything, because teaching classes is like a given for us, right? That's like what you do. But the growth comes from everything else. So I would be there and I would be punishing myself for not doing anything. And in the last couple of months, I've become pretty nice to myself, because I'm like, okay, I don't have energy to do anything. Like, I just want to watch Sex and the City. That's what I'm rewatching right now.
I've been on Arrested Development and Schitt's Creek.
Oh, there you go. I love Schitt's Creek.
It doesn't matter how many times I've seen it. Hysterical. And it's like,
so right now I'm on Sex and the City. And I'm just like, okay, I just want to watch my TV show. That's it. And I start kind of feeling bad about the whole thing. And then I'm like, okay, Alina, let's talk. Why can't you do the work right now? What is stopping you? And I'm like, I'm tired. And that's the conversation in my head. Yes, I know it might be weird, but it's okay. I talk to myself.
I have many of my own conversations.
So I'm like, no, but you've done so much. You did a 6-hour of physical workout. By the way, I count my workouts as my work as well, because that's part of like the image or whatever.
Yeah.
So
it's part of it.
I taught 6 classes. I took a class, or I did a training.
Yeah.
And then, yes, I didn't do much else, but hey, this is 7 hours of work.
That's
and
a
usually
full
people
day.
that's a full day. And
most people do, if they do one physical activity,
Exactly.
maybe 30 minutes if they're lucky, or the people that work all day.
Exactly.
And then, so you have to be kind to
So
yourself.
I was like, okay,
It's okay to, it's called regeneration. Like,
Yes.
and that's part of where I do continue to have energy, is being selfish with my Fridays and my Sundays. Those are my days off. And as much as it would be fun to go do all the things, like I've been invited, this isn't about like, oh, I'm so cool, I'm invited to all these things. I was invited to multiple shows these last several weeks. Concerts, the weekend, there was like a hip hop thing, then there was an EDM thing, then I was invited to a friend's birth. I've been invited to so much stuff. And if I literally went to everything, I would die. So I can't. But sometimes, sometimes come a Friday or a Sunday, as much as it sounds great to go spend time with people, regenerating and being alone and watching my stupid shows and hanging out with my dog and not having conversations is what I need to regenerate.
I canceled my dinner plans last night.
I did too.
Because I needed to go to sleep at 10 p.m. I really did.
Yeah. There was a friend's birthday again last night. And I'm like, you want me to go somewhere after 8 p.m.? Thanks. I'll send you a gift.
Yeah.
Like I was in bed at 8 p.m.
There you go.
And sometimes, and I think that that's the balance. So it's not that you're doing wrong or you're not doing enough. I think we have to stop with, we live in such a society that's all about production in a sense. Yet at the same time, it's the most entitled, laziest society I've ever seen in a way. There's so many people that I feel like just don't work for anything anymore. But I think it's really important to disconnect. We are human beings, not human doings.
Yes. And really feel.
It's okay if you had a day that all you did was teach classes. I told myself yesterday, I was like, Chavonne, you taught 14 classes in 4 days. Your body's exhausted. Maybe you don't need to go up and down your stairs doing laundry 12 times today. So I forgave myself because my laundry is outside and it's not conveniently in my apartment.
Yeah.
So even just the carrying up and down the stairs, my body literally said, no, it's just not doing it today. So I did all the other things I could do and I forgave myself because I couldn't do my laundry yesterday.
So basically the key to having the energy is to actually just being kind to yourself.
Yeah, and allowing the balance and allowing the regeneration.
Because planning and all, that's amazing. But then for me also, it goes so far that I plan and it works amazing for me. But then if I don't do everything that I planned, I start punishing myself and beating myself up.
Same. And this is where we have to stop.
And this is where you know you have to stop.
Because you probably also made a list for yourself that was unrealistic. So I looked at my list yesterday for Friday, and the amount of things I told myself I was going to do in an operating of 10 hours would really take the average person an entire week to accomplish. And I was like, okay, Chavonne, maybe we should try to have like boundaries and limits here. Like, it's okay if I I had to tell myself out loud, Chavonne, it's okay to lay on your couch.
Yeah.
It's okay to lay on your couch and not do anything work related or read or, like be consumed with something. So I think it's finding the balance based on your lifestyle and your output, obviously. You and I give. So it's okay on your downtime to not give.
It's the thing is also, it's not just because the nature of social media, we show what we do. But you cannot show what you're not doing because you're not doing.
Right.
Like, that's just, it's not.
Here's my content, not doing anything.
You can't even blame social media for, like kind of push. That's just our perception of it, right? That people are always doing something because when they're on social media, they really are doing something. But the truth is, for people to do something, you have to rest, apparently. And
so I've heard.
Yes. Yes. And also, okay, one more thing. I mean, we still have a lot of time here, but but I know that I'll forget. And I wanted to ask you about that. Because somehow you do have time for social life.
I do. I mean, yeah.
Okay, guys, just saying, like, okay, everything before that, we were talking about work, rest, and you might have thought, and then the fact that we couldn't meet each other for drinks for a long time. So if you look through Chavonne's Instagram.
I'm not just at home all the time.
Oh, no.
I do
She does boat parties. She does bars and clubs and all this.
I do things. I love brunch.
I love
brunch with I love
Yeah.
brunch. I am at the stage in my life where I love daytime more than nighttime.
Yeah.
I'll go to a party. I'll do nighttime stuff. When people do, I do make a joke about it. Especially, I teach Saturday mornings. I teach at the
I
butt
teach
crack of
Sunday
dawn
morning.
Monday
well,
mornings.
which you know.
Right. I do.
I teach at her
You
club.
teach in my club at 9 a.m. on Sunday morning. It
Yes.
took you a while to remember the time, but you I love when you send a sub request. Guys, it's like a Sunday. I don't know, sometime 9:30, 10, 1, 2. I'm like, let's get the time down. It's 9. So so you do Sunday mornings, which means you have probably like a limit on Saturday nights.
Yeah.
My Friday, there's a lot of things I'd love to go do happy hours on Friday, but I'm like, yeah, but I also like my happy hour at home. I have no problem drinking my wine with my dog at home. But yeah, I do keep a social life up. And I will say that that's where like you're working on maybe being more kind to yourself and being like, it's okay if I just watch my junk TV.
Yeah.
I'm not searching for a boyfriend. I'm not out looking for people to like date me, marry me. I'm not on any of the apps. I don't want to do any of that. I
We'll
have
talk
no
about it later.
We'll get that later. But I do want to like, my point is you're not going to meet somebody at your house alone all the time either. So if I do want to maybe interact and meet people, I might need to go out in public outside of my gym that's predominantly gay, which I love. I'm the straight queen of all my gays. I love my gays. I love them. But I run the South Beach Club that's just, largely gay.
That's just how it is.
I have all my chicks. I have all my women. I have my friends. I have my gays. But I'm not meeting the love of my life there. At least I haven't yet. I don't think I'm marrying a gay man. So anyways, anything could happen. But,
Yeah, for sure.
I definitely have gotten myself out of the rut. I was in a rut for a while of just work, home, work, home, work, home, work, home. And I think that's from stress, exhaustion, also like, I kind of had a relationship for a little while and that put us in the house a little bit
Yeah, for
more.
sure.
You kind of, you settle in a little bit. All that's over and I've moved on and I've realized, I don't want to be on dating apps. I do want to meet people. I do want to, I do want to see my friends outside of a work setting. And it's hard to juggle, Alina, because I don't say this like I have so many friends, but I have a lot.
You know so many people.
I know so many people.
Going back to when I said that you know everyone's name in our club.
The members have become friends. My colleagues and my staff have become friends. I try to know everybody in a way that's
personal,
lovely and personal. Yeah. And so, even though you may not be my best friend, but you've invited me to your house party and it's such an intimate, sweet thought, I do like to show up. And I do go to, like, some of my members have birthday parties and boat parties and happy hours. And so I think for that, yes, I am managing and maintaining a good social life, but I've put boundaries on that as well. I cannot do something Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Okay.
I'll be wrecked on Monday. Not because I'm getting, messed up and out of control. I have to manage my body, my sleep, my dog. And, after I have a full work week and the energetic output, doing something all day Friday at the beach and then going out to a birthday party and a happy hour on Saturday night and then doing something at brunch and all day Sunday, when's the downtime? I got to rejuvenate, So it's finding that.
I'm trying to find balance with that right now because in general, I actually think that having a social life is just absolutely amazing because the most meaningful connections you actually like the connections that you make is outside.
It's right.
You have your work.
We can connect in our classes, but only to a degree.
But then you make the actual connections you make outside. People who I met at parties and like dinners, they have become so some of them have become so monumental for me, really.
Right.
And even, for example, I'm the birthday party, the girl who was throwing it for me, we met at Equinox in your club.
Who is it? If I know, maybe
I don't think you know, but her name is Kim.
Is this the one you're doing next weekend with?
Yeah.
Okay.
We are
Going?
the thing is, like, she's in New York. She's not here, but she was visiting Miami and she came to the club and she took my class and we became friends.
I love that.
That's
some of the coolest
happened.
people in my life are really truly from meeting at work in my class.
Yeah.
I mean, I have amazing friends through people that I work with, through some of my coworkers. But I have established some of my favorite people to hang out with are the members that have come to my classes and become like I really truly love that there's a community that's been created in South Beach.
Well,
with
I
my
think
club
that you are creating that community. I'm not just saying this to like suck up to you or anything.
Love you.
I actually mean it because I think I told you this before. One of the reasons I when I started working for Equinox, one of the things that I love the most is that I'm not personal with anyone. And I
Yes,
was
we
like,
talked
I'm
about
just
this.
I'm just coming there. I do my work. No one is giving me any hard time about anything, and like it's not personal at all, whatever. So if it wasn't for you making an effort to make it personal for me, that wouldn't have become personal.
That
for
means
me.
a lot.
But yes, and it's so amazing. It has like
Look how many friends you have now.
for sure.
Like we've picked up so many people
And
in our
I
classes.
would not, honestly, like I would not be the person I am right now, and like the experiences that I have without having that community that you
love
have
that.
created. And I'm not
I love
joking. Like
that.
that's
Oh my God. It
so
means so much.
so true.
You're validating something that's been a really true, like truly a heart's desire and goal. I love Equinox. I'm all in. There's nothing I could say here that would be against that or not supportive of everything with them I believe in. But it doesn't mean that it's forever, right? It doesn't mean that I necessarily retire with them or that who knows. But what I do know and what I care about the most is creating something real and valuable and relatable and connecting no matter where I am.
Yeah.
So prior to Equinox, I was running multiple other clubs in other locations. It never created to the degree that this has become, but this has been a process in the making. I've been managing in my role 2.5 years now in that location. I've been in the company for 4 years, but there's something about South Beach that I want. My goal is every time I walk in that club, I want people to feel better once they've come and gone. I want people to feel seen.
Yeah.
I want them to be noticed.
They
I want
are.
them to be valued, and I want them to feel like they're a part of something bigger.
And literally
than
everything
themselves.
that you're doing is speaking to that. Like it's a lot of times that people are saying that they want something or, and they're not doing it, but your actions, like you're actually doing it. That's for sure. And
It means a
even
lot.
without
Yeah.
you saying this right now, I already knew through your actions, like all that is just, that's so true.
It's really
So yeah.
that means a lot more than you realize. Thank you.
No,
Well, look
you're
where
welcome.
we
That's
are
true.
now. We're
That's
sitting
true,
here
yes.
together. It's important.
It is. So yeah, basically back to what I was saying is that the most meaningful connections, honestly, that's when you make them outside, but it takes an effort to get outside.
It does.
It's another
and
part
sacrifice
of
in a way.
It's another part of planning and scheduling.
And sacrificing the time that maybe selfishly, like I'm right now as we're here doing this, I'm loving every minute of it. And I'm already in the head going, am I going to still go to this friend's birthday thing tonight? Or am I going to talk myself out of it? Because if it were down the street,
get you another glass and you'll go. It's okay. You know that.
I know. But it's true because you have to decide what, these things are valuable and meaningful, and you have to schedule social outlets.
Yeah.
Because we also can't the regeneration is important, the sleep and the recovery. The being alone, I think, is very valuable. People need to be able to spend time alone and be comfortable and confident in that. But you can't do that forever either.
We're going for balance.
Right.
As always, like every single conversation that I have in this studio,
balance.
Yeah, it ends up being balance and moderation and everything. I'm looking for that balance right now, honestly, because I was, right now I think it's the most balance that I've had so far in my life, but I'm so scared to lose it also at the same time, because for a couple of months it was just work. That's it. It was nothing. And then the last couple of weeks I've started going out again. I started seeing people.
Good.
I think I manifested because about a week and a half ago I put a post on my social media saying that I want to see people more. Since then, I don't think I had a meal on my own. I'm not joking.
Wow.
Yes, I don't think I had a single meal on my own, which is pretty exciting. I love it, but now I have to cancel some plans because I'm like,
can't have every meal with everybody every day,
I'm
right?
Like, I need my own, and I can't physically have that much food. I already gained so much. Oh my god, I'm not
stop. You were. Oh my god, we're not going there. You look perfect.
I gained so much.
I am in my fat body right now.
Same.
I am literally just
and
eating.
I'm shooting next week.
But I feel like you're in your best body ever. Like
really?
Yes, you look the best you've ever looked. So shut up. And I honestly think that you're leaner and you look more defined.
Really?
Yes, you look amazing. And a little extra muscle.
That's muscle. Yeah, I hope that's muscle because
it's muscle. You don't
because
look
it's like plus freaking 5 pounds.
Yeah, but you've been lifting. Let me just interject for all those listening that before you go down the rabbit hole, muscle weighs more than fat. I'm going to say it again. Muscle weighs more than fat. And when you build more muscle, you burn more fat, and you're becoming more metabolic, and your digestion's better, and your sleep and your immune system,
I
all
know
of it's
in my
better. But I can
head, but
see in
when
your
I
body. I've
see
been
it in
watching you, and when you're teaching yoga, I'm like, she's lean as ever. This is the leanest bitch ever. Yet you have muscle and definition because you're lifting now, and I'm proud to see that. She's actually
Thank
lifting
you.
weights in the club.
Yes, I
I've put
do.
on 5 pounds because I'm really lifting heavy in my ass, trying to put some weight on, but I've also been eating and drinking, so I'm not as cut.
Same.
Hello.
Apparently,
Bad influence right
And
here.
I just had lunch with a cheesecake. So
That's okay. Abs are cool, but so is living your life.
That's true.
Like, live your life.
Oh my God, this is so perfect.
Like, live your life.
All right, guys, if you're watching this right now, you notice that there's slight changes in the picture, and now it's not Chavonne and I, it's just me, and I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. The mics stopped working on us, but as you probably can guess, it was kind of a weirdly perfect moment. I think that the message that was given to you in those last moments that Chavonne was talking is probably exactly what was supposed to happen in this podcast episode, in this episode of the podcast. So live your life, right? The episode, it started off talking about how to have energy to do it all and to do so many things at once. And the truth is, that's the answer. Live your life. You can't really have the recipe of, how to be productive when someone else is telling you. That's not going to be your recipe. It has to be your own. So listen to yourself and take in little tips that we've discussed over the episode, but really, really, really live your life. I think that is a perfect way to end this episode. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for staying with us and with me. If you have any questions, reach out, please comment. I love your feedback. And remember, it's not a one-way street, it's a two-way street. So I want to hear from you, maybe some more ideas for the episodes and so on and so forth. You know what to do. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next episode of Yoga with Alina, the coffee break. I'll see you soon, guys.